Right, so we've got a few minutes then until Powell is scheduled to deliver his opening remarks. And I mean, what I'll do is there's a link here if you guys want to listen in. There's the CNBC coverage, and 1 second. No, that's not the one I want. Discord. Right, let's share my. Is my screen being shared? No idea. Share your screen. There we go. Okay. Hey Wayne, can you hear me? How you doing, Wayne? How you doing, Wayne? Hola, hola. Excellent stuff. And there's another link in here, which is the full coverage. Just open that. There's Powell speaking now. Right. So looking at these charts and turning Powell down. So you guys have got the link there, so you can be watching and listening in yourselves. I'm going to be looking at these charts and monitoring the headlines for anything significant. But the consensus is that Powell's going to be repeating the mantra of longer, higher for longer, that they're battling with their inflation. And what I'm looking at here is a dollar. This Dixie chart, this is gold on the left and the dollar on the right. And this dollar is breaking down. So that's good for the analysis on the stock to the upside. And we were talking about the yen as well in this morning's meeting. So you've got that yen that's just plummeted right in line with Powell speaking. So this is essentially a sell the fat setup with dollar yen here, and we've got all of this length. We talked about this in the meeting, and we're heading down to Thursday's US session lows as a target. So that's playing out nicely. The dollar, that M pattern we talked about, playing out nicely. So it came up to sell off. So hopefully you guys picked up on that. And then the US 30, we talked about the spring and the prospects of a move up. So that's also playing out. But it's moved up into that encatchment area we talked about in the meeting. Right, it's coming up to the point of control on the day, the weekly point of control up higher up, the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement, and then we've got the trend line resistance. If I pull it out, we've got this trend line resistance, and the thesis is if it can't get through this area of resistance, essentially the 50% mean reversion level, right? So we've got the round number of 34,300, and above that the 50% mean reversion level, and then above that the trend line resistance, and then above that we've got the, there's plenty of resistance is what I'm talking about. So if we can get through that, then that is going to be very encouraging, and we are going to regard this breakout here as the spring, a fake out, a failed breakout, 80% of breakouts fail, etc., and the move up. So looking at the NAS, that's flying high. S&P, of course, as well. Dollar yen. Right, so we've got the first mouse came in, or came out, broke out. So they're going to be feeling heat on this pullback. That's the hourly chart. Bring it down to a lower time frame, you see what I mean? So the first mouse often gets caught out. They're going to be under pressure with this move up. So patience is the name of the game. On events such as Powell, CPI, um, I'm sure Wayne will concur with this, with non-farm payrolls, often you find in the first moments the volatility can be a trap, and it's worth just letting the dust settle. I've got a rule on that. Between 10 and 15 minutes. I like the 15-minute candle rotations. So let's just give this some time to play out. But the bias is to the downside for the dollar, and then that's good for the euro going up, dollar yen coming down, cable coming down, indexes going up, gold going up, and so forth. Gold, nice spike there, gold. Now, gold, unfortunately, I find it tricky to go long on gold because of the 1, 2, 3. We've got all of this week. So we burst out of the. Let me clean up the chart for you. So Monday, that's Monday's opening balance. We burst out of that on Tuesday. Range expansion, 2 pushes, 3 pushes, consolidation. I'd be inclined to look for the short, for the drop. So what we might find is a complete flip later on in the session. So if this dollar fails to continue lower, then that's going to be bullish for gold. See how it's being trapped up here? So that's going to be bearish for gold if we get the upside continuation in the dollar. But at the moment, the thesis is lower, and let's just see how things pan out. So, Wayne, how you doing? Do we have any audio from you today, Wayne? What's Powell talking about, guys? What's he saying? What's he saying? Fed prepared to raise rates further, if appropriate. Michigan of sentiment, University of Michigan sentiment, 69.5 versus the estimate of 71.2, and the prior 71.2. Is bad news good news for markets? Probably. You're not a presenter, but you should be able to. You have permissions. I thought you were all set up for this. Damn. No, I'm suppressed. Oh dear. I don't know what I can do about that. I'm just having a little think and a right. Get to settings or something over here. Create channel, main stage, edit channel. 26 an audience. Let me see if I can. Maybe I'll. Permissions. Add members or roles. Who can see access the channel? Who is a stage moderator of this channel? Add member roles. Let me see if I can do this. Right. This looks promising. At Wayne. Right. I might be able to get you in here. This is a complete fluke if it works. Add. Right. Escape. How about now, Wayne? Still not? Yeah, you are now. You're now a speaker. Pat myself on the back.
All right. How about that?
Great stuff. Yep.
Awesome. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How was your trip to Cuba?
Cuba's amazing.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah, I met with the former head of the foreign exchange department,
Yep.
you know, and he worked on the team that the entire economy. But he was the forex guy, foreign exchange America. Met with him twice now. Cool guy.
Excellent. Um, right. What's your take then on the market, Wayne, with regards to Powell?
Long everything.
Long everything.
So today, let me pull it up. Long gold, long the S&P 500, long oil, long euro yen.
All right. All right. Well, I'm looking at this dollar yen for a first bounce opportunity on the 1 minute chart. We're looking for
We got the camera working. Look at that. We got the camera working. We got the working.
the only bummer is your audio is in and out again.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's in and
No way. No way. That's crazy.
it's not as bad as last time. So let's stick. It's all right. We just have to be patient with it.
Yeah, the second date's always better than.
So you're long everything. So what's your take then? This is a sell the built up, pent up sentiment.
It's just this time of year. This is what I do.
Okay.
So it's a seasonal thing. So
Right.
I looked at this pullback in the stock market was a fade,
Right.
and I'm in the window of buying everything.
Okay.
So I looked at the S&P 500. It's a double bottom on the monthly M1. So 1 month expected the low in the S&P 500 would be 4,306 feet and a half. I start at the moment. So now with the double bottom on it, I waited for it. Really, I waited for a double bottom of the bottom, higher high, then it bought the higher low, like on. So now I'm long. I'm just slightly wrong.
Okay. What's your take
I'm
on?
looking it up. I'll give you a price. I'll give you a price.
Okay.
And if I actual price is, I'm long at 43.82.
Right then. What do we reckon about this current market? Look at this gold taking off here.
Yeah, I'm long gold at 1890.
Right down there. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. Do you think
And
this?
by the way,
Yeah.
I've been short gold for almost 2 years. Not one long thing, but bearish. I've been bearish on gold for since we were at 10% coming down. So really, let's say 1 year. This is the first time in a year I bought gold.
Right.
It's doing all right.
So what's your reasoning behind buying gold when? I mean, the general consensus is that with the Fed higher for longer, that's negative gold.
Sure. Up until now, we've been in a disinflationary period, so I've been selling gold.
Yeah.
But the reason I switched over from a bear to a bull is my projections are the next GDP out of the United States is going to be very good, very good. But
Okay.
then the next GDP, I'm like 3 months ahead of the market. I
Right.
think the next GDP is going to be modest, not bad, but not nearly at rate.
Hmm.
And meanwhile, I believe inflation tick up from 3 back to, let's say, 4%. We'll have this inflation is rising. Meanwhile, productivity is slowing. And that divergent market gold would be.
Wow. So what is your target on gold?
My first target is December 12th. Not
Okay.
even a price. It's not even a price target. It's going to be in to the end of
All right. Okay. So that's an
maybe longer.
interesting start. So your style then is seasonality.
Partially, partially, but that is literally fundamental.
Right.
If we go from a disinflationary period, which we've been in for a year,
Mhm.
to a reinflationary period, um, and in that scenario, you should own gold as an inflation hedge. So it's just, you know, I'm doing that because I think that's what institutions. Also, if if China wants to devalue its yuan as a way to support its collapsing economy, it's it's going to do it by buying gold and pushing offshore yuan into that inflation era.
Okay. Okay.
Because remember, like let's say maybe that one's hard to get, but let's say it's Israel. Israel tends to do this a lot too. Let's say Israel wants to lower the value of the shekel, but it wants to maintain its balance sheet. Wants to its balance sheet will balance. What it'll do is it'll go into the open global market and it'll use shekel to buy gold. So they have less gold on, or sorry, they have less cash on their balance sheet. They have the equal amount of gold
Yeah.
that they just bought. So is their balance sheet is still balanced. They have less cash, but they have more gold, still balanced. And now we have shekel in the interbanking system more than we had before. So the supply globally of shekel went up, but the value of the shekel went down. And so now their exports are more competitive. Let's say that was the goal of the central bank. So if central banks around the world are looking to, let's say it's Japan or let's say it's China, those are two that really need to. China's doing that. They're going to buy gold, sell their cap. The gold goes.
Okay. All right. So what? How do you approach your? I mean, how would you approach an event like today? Fed's Powell. Would you day trade it, or you just simply, well, you're already in
Oh,
the market?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
would?
But the thing is, you have to use it like, like I used to work at NASA, so I very often use these analogies, right? To get to where you need to go, you have to slingshot off the gravitational field of another planet or a moon, right? Like, I want to take gold north. I really actually don't care about Jackson Hole,
Right.
but it's kind of like if I'm going to Jupiter, I need to slingshot off Mars. I don't really care about Mars. I'm going to use it to change the direction of satellite, whatever it is, to change the speed. In this case, pick. So I'm just using Jackson Hole as a launch pad. It's going to give me some volatility and probably in the direction I want it to go because I'm analyzing. I've already know what Jay Powell knows.
Yeah.
So, for example, I think the real news. So, um, the real news here. Uh, Here it is. Posted in the chat. The real news here is this: meeting minutes that came out a while ago.
Hmm.
That's the news. At Jackson Hole, Jay Powell's going to come out and just tell us everything we already know. So
Exactly.
ultimately, I don't think anything's going to change, but we will get some volatility. But the trends that are developing will ultimately be the ones that likely, let's say, resume later today. That's just a launch.
Yeah. So just put in the chat there that the Fed swap still are pricing a 60% chance of a 25 basis point November rate hike. So essentially, nothing has changed on the back of this his remarks. Um,
Right.
what we might get
But
is, I mean, I don't know. If,
but
go on.
that Fed meeting is going to be it. doozy.
Right.
Now, I don't think they're going to raise the other one. That's a but I do have one more member meeting. But so there'll be a shock if the Fed doesn't, but we do get a new summary of economic action,
Hmm.
and that's what really rocked them. What'll happen is you might see the dot in the summary of economic. That's going to be the whopper. If the dot plots move so that there's two more hikes, one more. Well, that's not priced in, and that comes up as a
Okay. All right. So, and today during this conference, is there going to be questions and answers? I don't know. There'll be a presser or something.
I think there is. I think there's a
Yeah.
short queue.
I mean, maybe we'll get something more out of that because this is all. This is bore off. There is nothing new out of this. Markets are not jaded at all. Um, what's the S&P doing? There's no real momentum in any of this at the moment. Maybe a later session move. I mean, Fridays usually we get the big moves, don't we? Because we've had the whole week setting it up.
Yeah. Well, the Fed last time told us they don't expect recession. So
Mm,
that's kind of what the market's looking for. Has
right.
that changed? But they actually told us there's no recession,
Uh huh. So what's your
which
take?
is
So you think we should get a risk on rally?
uh, well, I started doing that on Tuesday. So I was long starting on Tuesday, and I had a really good Wednesday, and then I guess it collapsed Thursday,
Yeah.
or rebuilding it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's been the assumption.
All right. So, well,
And
I'm
typically,
wondering.
what I'll try to do is stack on to the same theme.
Right.
I'm a very much being a macro trader. I'm a very thematic trader. So all my trades all say the same thing. They're all based on the one piece of ration. Over time, if I actually catch a trend, I want to stack it. Either add to the position, let's say buy gold and then it dips and buy some more gold and then it rallies and dips. Or I'm buying gold, I can buy the S&P 500. They're correlated. Or buy the N pair correlated. So I'll spread the risk out and bet on.
All right. Good
But
stuff.
nonetheless, it's all based on one on a risk.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think ultimately is going to happen to the US dollar today? Technically,
I'd like,
fundamentally,
yeah, I'd like it to be
lower. Yeah.
bearish. Bearish is good. Yeah. So
Bearish is
like
good.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not trading dollar today because of the extra volatility that this really
Yeah.
create.
Yeah.
So like I think volatility is bad.
Right.
It's one reason I do the non-heroes and Basel and sort of sleight of hand keep people away from the crazy volatility and then bring them back to sound, able, conservative, disciplined trading. So I kind of
Yeah.
believe. And so like today is a classic example. I'm long all the N pairs, but I'm not trading dollar. I'll probably pick dollar pair.
So you would let the dust settle and pick this up next week? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean I'm got euro yen, pound yen, CAD yen, gold, oil, and the stock market. Okay for a day, right?
Right.
Like, how much more do I want, right? Throw on some euro dollar. Why?
Yeah.
You know? So I'll let it work.
Yeah. Right. So this is the volatility, guys, that Wayne's talking about. So you had the setup in the dollar pairs, and those getting short of the dollar, chasing that move, are now squeezed out, feeling the heat, getting stopped out. Uh, and if you recall, guys, I said in the morning meeting that I wouldn't be trading around the event. Too much volatility. I'd rather wait and see how this dust settles. I really do actually. I like gold though. I like gold for a short. Well, there you go. I might have really started to blow off. So we've broken. Let me pull up this gold chart fully. So this US
We're
dollar,
just touching the we're just touching the 4 hour. Uh, so open it.
the 4 hour, you said?
Hold. I use the 21 EMA as dynamic support, and it's there. It should be okay.
So this 4 hour chart here, yeah, it's breaking out, isn't it? And you've got all
Yeah,
of that to squeeze, all of those longs. So there's a nice opportunity playing out before our eyes.
yeah. I'd like. It feels like it wants all, but I think between this 11
Dropping, dropping,
11 to
dropping.
19, not hoping that acts as. If not, I probably have to jump.
Yeah. So, for me, I'd been anticipating here because of the volatility of this event. Um, uh, we can break out and easily pull back in, right? But I would have liked to have been long on this breakout here, or even on that candle there for the breakout. So, what are you guys all doing in the chat here, guys? Have you got positions on? Do you want us to look at anything in particular? Okay,
Oil is behaving well.
oil.
WTI
Let's have a look at that.
long at 70.
Yeah, it's riding that trend, breaking out of that. 80.38 I marked as the line in the sand. If we can get above there, then I think we're cool runnings all the way up to 82. So what do we got in this dollar? Strong recovery. So it's had its move into longs. Perhaps it's going to take off. And that is exceptionally bearish for gold.
But remember, when we spoke 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said I was going to be a bull on the U.S. dollar until the third week of August.
Yes,
I was going to do that quick trip out to Cuba, but I got to get back
right.
in the third week of August.
Yeah, that's right.
Third week of August, now interested in being a bear on the dollar. So I've been a bull on the dollar for almost 2 months solid, and now today I'm very open to selling these.
All right.
Doesn't mean it's happening today, but I'm definitely starting to look for it.
Okay. Well, there's the.
And it's nice to be able to talk about it 3 weeks now. Now I got to get serious about maybe pursuing. It may not be bearish today, but I expect in the next few weeks, or we are going into recession.
Right.
But the Fed says we're not going to recession, so I got to base it off of that. I'm not going to recession. This is when I start. That's
So this goal looks like it wants to break out to the downside.
we're at 110, and it'll go down to 108.9 and stop.
Where do you think it's going to go?
Now I'm praying too, right? I'm hoping and but there's nothing I can do at this.
All right.
Table's set and set break even, so like I can't really.
Right. Well, let's see how this gets on. The dollar is really taking off. Yields uh, up and away. That's the 10-year, right? In line with the trend. 2-year,
Uh,
2-year doing well. We've got last month's highs on the 2-year at 5.12 ish, near term target for the yields. That's bullish dollar, guys. So there's that turnaround. All right, so dollar yen flipped, gold trying to take off to the downside.
I actually want yields to come down. In my stock and bond goes to the 20 year, like the 20 year now.
Right. Dow
So I
30.
need that to fall. I need the price to rise, and I want the yield to fall. So
Okay,
these kinds of days are kind of.
okie dokie. Alrighty. Someone's asking about dollar CAD and also, right, we've got some questions coming through, guys. So, gold, shorted gold as set up but took profit. Okay. Silver Hara, if I pronounce your name right, is essentially going to track gold, XAGUSD. Right, so we've got that move up, peak formation, plummeting. Gold likes to run, and that will likely run with silver, will likely run with gold. So let's see if that pans out. Um, um, okay. Did you say bearish dollar or bullish? Well, at the moment, the dollar is taking off. We went short on dollar yen, and that seemed to be a mistake. I went short on dollar yen. Well, no, I mean, you say it might have been a mistake. So long as you traded your trade plan and strategy, then and didn't make a mistake, then that's fine. You know, you can have a good day losing money by sticking to your trading plan.
Hopefully, they're not still in it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have like. There's a second question there. At what point will it reverse? Well, I can tell you the probability of that 45, but this is an uptrend. So you're in dangerous waters, arc infested, dangerous. Um, yeah, so that would be the biggest, reported or not. I always have a mantra that I like to say: bulls buy higher low, bears sell lower high. There is no, there is no. So right now that USD CAD is,
Dollar CAD. Let's have a look.
dollar CAD goes. You want is short, but that's an uptrend. Impossible. I double check your price act. Couldn't be short of both.
So you think this dollar CAD has got mileage then, yeah?
Well, it's just not falling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know where it's going to be in in the future. I can just tell you it's not bearish, so you shouldn't be.
Right.
But what I was saying is 130, 45 and a half. is a price in which the probability of reversal increases.
in here.
Um, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay.
Here's what I would just say: don't sell it on.
And we look at oil, US oil, US oil.
An oil.
Right, so that's the, let's put this on the, let's go to the 1 hour, dollar CAD. So picking up an oil on the 1 hour, same, is stalling. So that's bullish for dollar CAD. We're breaking out on oil, right? So we'd expect dollar CAD to enjoy that. Yep. Okay, so right, so this dollar has come right up into resistance on the DXY. So this has a high probability of moving back. This is a W formation in what is essentially a broken down market. So if this resistance holds, we could be looking at the continuation of the dollar to the downside. Right, so that is putting my gold entry at risk. Yields slowing down, decelerating. The dollar being forced back down strongly. So we are now, where are we on the clock? Well, we're sort of in no man's land at 10:38. It's a new 15-minute rotation. That's the 10:30 rotation. Prospects of a correction, guys, in this dollar. Nice, 150 pips up. Lovely jubbly. Da-da-dum.
Oh, so Days just posted a trade plan. I tell them about my AI thing, or should I keep?
No, do. Please do. Yeah, this is
Let
awesome,
me
guys.
post
Check it
it.
out.
Since Days posted a trade plan, I can give you feedback on your trade plan less than post that same thing right there. Days, go there, grab a screenshot of your trade plan, post it there. You'll get feedback sent to you by email. Not posted on the website. It's not stored anywhere. You'll get a second opinion. Your trade. It's free, by the way, totally for free. Spent thousands and thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of dollars on it, but it's free.
Let's put my. I'm going to demonstrate this to the gang. So this is a fabulous bit of AI, guys, software. So check it out. And the way it works is, so I entered in gold. I'm concerned about this dollar pulling back, right? Because it would put my uh, gold short under pressure. Um, and let me just see what my position is. So it's 1910 sold for a 1913.44 stop loss. Um,
Oh, I don't have gold at the moment.
okay.
I can't get the price. I can't get the price feed,
Ah, right.
but apparently I should have it in about 30 days.
Okay.
So I don't have that asset class yet.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I
Uh,
don't have the candlestick data. I can't.
Okie dokie.
Now, when I at the price feed, I pay for 20 years, 50 candle data,
Right.
and 50-minute candles going back 20 years. That's
Wow.
what the AI looks at. Like it's
20 years.
insane how many tables that.
Yeah, that's a lot of data.
That's a lot of data.
So, still concerned about this dollar peaking out, wherever it is. Uh, we've got 3 minutes until the end of this 15-minute candle. We want to see it push up. I want to see this push up. Please tell me about silver. Is it bearish? Yes, it is. It's tied to gold. So XAGUSD. You see that? We've got the same price action in silver. I'll just marry it up to gold. Gold on the right, silver on the left. Right, this is a 15-minute chart. This is a 5-minute chart. I'll put this to a 15-minute chart. So there's the 15-minute chart. Spot the difference.
And one is retail, one is institutional.
Yes, silver had a massive influx of interest during COVID, didn't it?
Yeah, it's just cheaper, so retail traders flock to it cheaper.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but you're right; it's highly correlated. So same thing, but I don't think like central banks are cornering the market on silver, but they would buy and sell gold.
Right.
So it's just cheaper. So it may.
Okay. Okie dokie. Um, right. Let's look at this dollar again. Yields.
Right now, institutional investors 72.7.
Say that again, Wayne. You cut out, my friend.
Okay, for institutional investors, 72.72% or long gold, right?
Wow. Okay.
233,078 contracts long.
Yeah. Well, if we look at this over what? Over. Oh, that's what am I on here? Silver, gold. Some gold over weekly chart. So that information you provided, is that the COP data from last week? No.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes. So like I said, so silver's more retail than institutional. There's only 50,600 silver. Like it's not that in just institutions just generally don't trade it.
Okay.
Right? I mean that's way. Nonetheless, it's so right now it's 57%. It's almost a 50-50.
Okay.
So I'd stay away from silver. Long run, short run, it's going to move.
Okay. Well, we've got this correction into this length that's built up over this week. So that's what we talked about in the meeting this morning. So did anyone get involved with gold? I know we had Dab selling. Great stuff. You sold where my stop is. So good for you. 1924 your stop target. 1904. Okay. Where's my target? Same area, I think. Or a bit lower mine. Why 1904 not lower? Okay, you're taking it to the top of this breakout. All right. So should I take some off or should I add? What's the dollar doing? Breaking out. That's yields breaking out. I'm holding. Now, what I should do is move to break even. And that might be unwise because it could easily come up to my break even point on Fibonacci. Yeah, I mean my break even's even below the 38.2, so that's might not be a wise thing to have my break even there. Maybe I should take some off then in that case. Any other questions, guys? Keep them coming. Um, Fed swaps are pricing in additional rate hike premium for November. Fed swaps price out first 25 basis point rate cut to July from June. It's hawkish, right? US rate futures now price in higher odds of Fed hike in November and December meeting. Bloodwish talking about a rumor of a pause by the ECB. Any opinion? Rumor from where? Well, we've got Lagarde speaking, I'd say in the next few hours. I don't have a time, but I know it's a luncheon speech that she's making. Reuters.
Etika says, what if euro looks long but it seems weak? Well, that's because you're isolating the dollar. Think of it different. If the dollar weakens, the euro is going to go up.
Yeah.
I popped a chart there.
Yeah.
The top part of the chart, if you just look at the red line, it's just showing you what the dollar is doing in the Equipment and Traders report over the last.
Over here, right? So if I can make that.
And
Let me, hold on, see if I can get that on this screen here. Let me in. Stage. Here. Let me in, listen in. Chat. There's the chart. Right, we've got that nice and big. Okay, what are we seeing here? All right, your voice is being disconnected. Reconnect. Okay, so the chart here I've got up. What are we looking at
be
here?
able to look for.
Can everyone see it? Share your screen. 1 minute. All right, guys, can you hear me? Maybe not. Disconnect. Join stage. Speak on stage.
We lost.
Hold on.
He's back and he's got a bigger gap. Right.
Hey,
I was
hey.
just saying, like, if you look at the top red line,
Yeah.
that's the Commitment of Traders report for the rest of it. Now, if you look at the bottom line, bottom red, that's the price of gold.
Okay.
They seem to have a positive correlated relationship.
Hmm.
A little bit. Depends on the. But no, that's just something that I'm looking at. It's a different way to look at the. I do this for like every app. I can see we're actually losing some of the bulls in gold,
Right.
but nonetheless, if they return as
Okay.
just a different visualization looking at.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Got a question here on the Australian dollar. Australian dollar. AUD USD. Yeah, the
Your
Aussie
mic
is
might.
Aussie is correlated to gold, risk, appetite. It's a high beta currency. What the stock's doing. So you went short at what? Can't make that out, but 42 perhaps. Yeah, looks good. So let's just see if this dollar manages to hold on to its gains. This could be a
Either
fact.
I either I don't have sound or your mic is.
Oh, is it? My mic's down, is it?
One of us is. I might be deaf. You might be. You might be.
Can I be heard? So Wayne can't hear me. Can anyone else hear me? Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, it's me.
All
It's
right.
me.
Okay.
why? Why the sound went away for me? The last 30 seconds.
Okay.
Reboot my. Sorry about that.
So we've got
But I'm
these.
breaking up. Oh,
What do you make of using yields
I
as
guess you
like
could.
as a leading indicator, Wayne? We've got this corrective behavior in the yields, yet the Dixie is relatively robust by the looks of things. Relatively robust. Right, so we've got how many minutes until 11 o'clock? So, um, 6 minutes until the close of this hourly candle. And we've cleared out all of that length. This is gold. So we've cleared out level 2. Can we get into level 1? Right, so level 1 is down here. So I'm looking for a test of level 1. Davs, are you out of your trade then? You took your profit? You're dropping gold re-entry to 911 for reload. So you're going to add to your position. So you haven't taken profit. Because you said your target was at what? 9 at 04. Ah, you got two take profits, 1895. Okay. 1895. All right, so you're going to look for the price to break below this support area. You're going to go in for here. You're going for the kill in level 1. Good luck to you, man. All right. So I think we can wrap it up, guys.
The S&P 500 has just gone quite negative, huh? This
Yeah.
reaction or response or good anyway. Nonetheless, yeah, that's some. Okay.
Yeah. And that Dow 30, bang. So we talked about this area up top, didn't we, guys? It's failed. So bearish all day long, right? Maybe we'll get a. So scrolling out on the Dow. Wayne, here's a question for you, if you can hear me.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Why why do we have more volatility in the Nas and S&P than the Dow? You know what I mean? Like the Nas and
Yeah.
S&P tend to
The
fly,
Nasdaq has a the Nasdaq has a higher beta.
okay, higher beta to the underlying stocks.
Well, it's just the stocks that comprise of the index have a higher beta than the stocks that comprise, let's say, the Dow.
Okay.
So in my portfolio construction, if I feel like the stock market's down, I'll move money out of higher beta uh, equity indices. Like I'll rotate money out of Nasdaq. I'll rotate it into the Dow. I still have a, let's say, a diversified, portfolio, but with less. It's a way of hedging without actually.
So when you say it
And
has a
then
higher beta relative to movements in what the overall market.
right, it has to do with how much a stock or let's say an asset doesn't matter. How much an asset moves relative to, let's say, a market. So, like, if if the stock market dropped 1%, Apple might drop 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means it's a high beta. Well, if the stock market drops 1% and Coca-Cola drops half a, it has a lower beta.
Okay.
So when you look at in in a good day or a bad day in the market,
Mm.
the Nasdaq will almost always move up and down more than the Dow.
Yeah. So it's a
So
higher beta.
in good times, you want to be in Nasdaq because that'll be in your favor. You want higher beta, but in bad times, you probably want less exposure to. You go to the lower beta.
Okay. And then why? I mean, I'm sorry to press you, but why would then the Nasdaq have a higher beta than the Dow?
Well, it could be the way that the index is constructed. So you know, five is represent about 80% of the entire index, even though there's supposed to be, I don't know, a couple of hundred. That could do it. So whether it's weighted, equally weighted or not equally weighted,
Right.
usually the type of companies. So you look at Dow, it's usually old school multinational corporations that have been around 100 years. They're a mature company and they're much more, they're a lot less focused on growth, more like maintaining market. And so you're just not going to get explosive moves out of a company that is quite bold, just makes money.
Right.
But if
Gotcha.
you're investing into a higher tech company, you're betting on future growth. Not only did NVIDIA, not only is NVIDIA up 250% this year, it'll be up 500% by next year because, AI, and there's going to be all these new customers and you're focused on this growth that has. So there's risk to that, and that's where the volatility.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
That's useful info. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
again, in portfolio construction, sometimes you want exposure to the higher volatility, um, but in others, So, like for example, in June, I expected the stock market to start coming in June. Didn't happen until the middle of July, and I mean like it was the last. It was a couple of weeks early. But what I did is I rotated money out of the Nasdaq, and I rotated that money out of Nasdaq into the Dow because it's a lower beta. So I will have less
Yeah.
because it has a lower beta.
Right. Gotcha. Alrighty. So I'm looking at this dollar, guys. I believe my screen is being shared. So what we've got here is a situation on the 1 minute chart that we're breaking structure. We've got that strong move lower. We're getting a move back up. Now, if this fails to hold up high, anyone long of the dollar is going to come under pressure. So this gold and your Aussie and so forth, just be wary of that. The line in the sand for me in this dollar at the moment is this low, right? This higher low before the higher high. And if we break that, I would regard, I mean, even if we, well, to be honest, playing devil's advocate, I think if we broke below 104, that's going to encourage a lot of pairing back in positions across the board, and that could really ignite, fuel a strong move lower in the dollar. And I think that's something to note, right? So just keep an eye on these two levels, 104 and 103.96. Yields, divvy dathering as well. Looking pretty bearish on the yields now, guys, for a temporary pullback. So putting the heat on, certainly on this gold position for me, potentially, if we see a drop away in yields and the dollar. Okay, right, guys, I'm going to have to return back to the analysis room, ask our analysts, because Ian and Khaled have gone for the weekend. So, Wayne, thank you ever so much for joining us yet again. We did have continued audio issues. What I'm going to propose is that next time that we try a different platform. I was talking to Yohei. Maybe we could move to Gmail chat. I believe we can host an event there, so we can put.
I can create a registration form and host it myself.
Okay.
I'm like I can host it in a room.
All right. Fantastic. Well, I'll record it, like I've recorded this one, and I'll send you that, and we can play it like that. Yeah. So we got a plan. So let's hook up with Yohei on that, and we'll get that arranged for next Friday.
Awesome.
Brilliant. Well, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your cigar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you did well today so far, and we'll see how the rest of the day pans out. Could get some volatility over Lagarde speaking and the second half of the day on Wall Street. So good luck, guys. Have a fabulous weekend. Cheers, cheers.